Happy Friday.
It is Friday. We have some technical snafus. Just a temporary snafu.
Yeah, well, happy Friday. It's the
It's Good Friday.
Good Friday. I was
Frankly,
going to say
it's a Good Friday.
it's the season of holiness here, whatever that might mean to you. But I can't wait to eat a bacon sandwich today.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. Next Friday for dinner. No, I don't care what my wife says. Steak dinner. Next Friday.
He's throwing it down.
Oh
He's
my
throwing it
God,
down right
yeah,
now.
all these Fridays without meat. Oh my goodness. But,
You are a good Catholic, Joe.
Joe is probably, other than my mom, is probably the best practicing Catholic.
Thank you. I was at 7:30 Mass last night for Holy Thursday. I was there.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is the guy.
Well, Naz, today's special. Not only is our friend
Surrounded by greatness.
surrounded by greatness,
Three amazing gentlemen.
Joe Cal, but the one and only, your friends,
Friend to everyone.
Yes, friend of the show.
friend of the show, Nelson Figueroa. Well, Nelson, welcome back to the party.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
It's great to be here.
The last time you guys were here, I was not here.
That's right.
I got to listen in the background of your nonsense that day, which was fun. But today's significance, not only is it the Holy Week, but baseball has finally started.
Yes. Well, most baseball has.
Well, yeah, well.
I gotta rub it in, huh?
Well, it's there.
Right off the bat.
It's there.
I'm going to say that's.
It's still around.
I think Naz kind of jinxed it yesterday.
How is that possible?
Well, you can't. You just right away. You came right in the office and you were like, "F, no baseball today."
Well, it had already happened.
You made the
It
announcement
had already happened.
It already happened.
I didn't jinx it.
And I didn't know. I didn't get the alert yet.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
Obviously, I'm a little higher up in the chain of command than you are.
No, it's okay. Naz, we've been doing this for 143 episodes. Really, this is season 2.
Yeah, it is
A
season 2.
year later, season
It
2.
is season 2. Wow.
Can you imagine
It
that?
seems like yesterday.
No.
Wow.
It's
It
crazy.
was over a year ago.
Yeah, this
Oh
is
my
nuts.
goodness.
But we've been having some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today, it's been busy in the bowling world. I will say this. So starting first, starting tomorrow.
Yes, the Staten Island Singles Classic.
Are you bowling?
Of course I'm bowling.
You ready to rock and roll?
Support the bowling community.
It looks like we got a full squad for the first squad.
Very
So,
exciting. Very
Nelson's not ready to bowl yet, but we
Whoa.
need to get him.
Wait a second.
We need to get him.
He's doing pretty good.
That is.
I
We need
was
to get him
not
an average so
invited
that he can
to
compete.
He has an average.
Does he?
Bowling in a certified league.
I'll get Mike Ruff.
Don't
We'll get him a
worry,
slot
my
tomorrow.
handicap will be nice and high.
Well, it's 60%.
That's
So,
right.
60% of 220, 230?
220, I believe it is.
It could be an advantage there for you. Maybe.
Yeah.
Significant.
What is your average now?
On paper, 185, but since I received my balls from Rab,
From Ray?
no, from Rabs,
Oh,
you guys hooked me up with the statement with one of my balls.
Yeah.
I've been, the last 4 weeks, I've averaged last Wednesday. What today's day?
Today's
Friday.
Wednesday, I averaged 210.
Very nice.
Which was very nice for us because we needed the points and we won a ton. Of course, my partner Bill has been carrying me the whole season.
That's okay. That's
He's
what teammates are for.
getting tired.
He's getting a little tired.
That's what teammates do.
When my bad game, and by bad game I meant my first ball pocket, somehow the 10-pin slid sideways. Like when you put the drink down, wet drink down, it slides.
Yeah.
10-pin just slid
Went on
sideways
spot.
and went to the 9.
Okay.
And then of course
It
the
happens.
pin setter comes and knocks it
Knocks
down.
it down.
If we're open bowling,
Right.
that's a strike. But anyway, so that was the first ball, and then of course I get to the 10th frame, and first ball I throw, a 7-10 stay up on a pocket.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, great, this is awesome. So I ended up with a 197. That was the low game of the night.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, that was not a pocket 710.
I'm telling you,
It
telling
you.
can happen.
It might appear that way.
I'm telling
It
you.
might look that way.
I'm
but it's
telling
not
you,
a
it was
pocket
not.
710.
I'm telling you, it was
Well,
not high. It was not. There was nothing wrong.
It was high.
and far.
And
No, it was-
far.
Hey, everything else went flying, and those two stayed up. Everything bounced into each other, and I'm like, oh, great, that's what I needed.
I love when somebody leaves an 8 or a 9, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, listen, it's high. It's either high or low. I mean,
right. And then sometimes it's angle, and listen.
And I don't get mad. I just don't get mad. It's so easy to get mad. I get mad at the 8-10. Like that's the one. That's the one leave I think that you could get mad.
It has its own webpage. It's an 8-10 split page.
Yeah. When I leave the 8-10, I actually try to bowl as fast as I can before they come over with the camera to take a picture of it. Because I really don't want to.
I have several of those pictures.
Yeah,
I'm one of the leaders on that page. I'm up there.
Kelly Schropp lately has been
Kelly Schropp.
Kelly she made the page. She did.
Yeah, Tony Everett's made it the other night too, and he was not happy.
So
I was watching Tony.
Oddly,
yeah.
He talked about leaving that weird thing with a pin slid over.
Yeah.
We had some strange things happen on our pair on Monday night too. We had some, like a pin actually fall down and bounce back up. Yeah. We had just weird pinfall, and then Kelly, of course, who throws the ball phenomenally. She left an 8-10. Yeah. There was. I don't know how many 7-10s.
Yeah, we
that were pretty much pocket hits.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, if it's a little off, I mean, you expect to carry one of them.
So we're gonna go with the pocket 7-10.
We're gonna call it the pocket 7-10. I've seen it.
I stand by it.
I'm not. I'm so not. I'm not buying
Tilly leaves one.
But I have to say we have a commercial today. we got a gift today from our friends at
Yes, we did.
Check out these net-like.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, I can't put it on.
Come on, Joe.
No offense to our friends at the Williams Eye Works. You guys do phenomenal work, but can you get like a navy blue and white one?
That's for what? Navy blue and white. I don't get. Why would you want that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, although I will say this, I'm a New York Islanders fan, so these are the Islanders colors too.
Knicks.
So we'll go with that. And the Knicks. That's right.
No, everybody except for one.
Exactly. Well, I do have the Knicks lid today, but to Nelson's point, Knicks.
Notice how the Knicks lid, as you called it, matches the Yankee attire. It's not even. So really,
it's all
this
about
could be Knicks. This could be a Knicks.
That's true. It's all about.
I don't know if they're Knicks fans. I know they're Mets fans.
Well, they're probably.
See, that's the one fun thing about Pittsburgh Pirates. In Pittsburgh,
Black and gold.
Everything is the same.
And so no matter what team you support,
that's
black
right.
and gold. So that's a great thing.
That's right.
Yep. Is that really a good thing?
I think it is. I think it's because, you know why? Because the way the stadiums are all set up, they're all right next to each other. Pittsburgh is one of my favorite places when you pull through that tunnel.
Yeah.
And you get that view, and it opens up, and you see all the different bridges.
Yeah.
All in that bright yellow color. Heinz Field.
Yep.
They're all right there, right on the waterfront. So it reminds me a lot of Philadelphia too. Right there on
All on
Broad
the
Street.
same lot,
They're all
yeah.
on the same lot, except there is, I think, 2 weekends where you might get all 3 sports at the same time, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I know. Traffic is pretty bad over there.
Yeah, we had that.
Philly,
It's Philadelphia, so whatever they get what they deserve.
Sorry, I couldn't.
That is a beautiful ballpark. I like
It is. It really is.
a beautiful
The
park.
city is. I guess I don't have a problem with the
Are you
ballpark.
you're shitting on the city.
No. I
No,
said.
just the people of the city.
Yeah,
That's where
well,
I
I
was going. Slowly but surely.
We were just talking about
that
fans.
path.
We kind of pushed it.
We were just talking about baseball fans.
Yeah.
You know,
We were.
And in the city of New York, I mean,
Well,
there are 2 different types of fans.
I think there's a correlation, and I think there were people that kind of feel that way about New York fans too, because if you're a fan in New York, you're a fan of your team. You're a die-hard, for the most part, knowledgeable fan of your team. So, and I think that Philly is the same way.
Yeah,
Very committed. I'm not going to say maybe not as knowledgeable, but if you want to think that, that's fine.
Yeah, they should be
But they're very opinionated, and so are New York fans.
Just like we are here on Live from
Just
Miles.
like we are here.
Yeah, but Naz, what fan base do you know of that actually booed Santa Claus?
Well, listen, we've
But New Yorkers will not boo Santa Claus. At least not the New Yorkers I know.
We boo our own team.
Well,
we booed David Wright.
I would say we.
No, not we. I never.
You know, the Yankees, what was that in the playoffs or World Series where they were getting booed and they were coming up with the last few at bats? It had to be the playoffs. I remember listening to it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
No matter how many games they win in the regular season,
Yeah, well, Gary Sanchez.
Those final at bats.
Yeah, he took a
Fans are
beating.
relentless.
They are.
He took a beating last year. The fans were relentless.
Listen, fans everywhere. Wrigley is notorious.
Oh, God.
Wrigley's notorious because they just get on you and stay on you,
Right.
and you're right there. You can't move
You
anything.
get right.
Philadelphia is pretty bad, and again, they do it to their own team as well, which
Yeah.
is very odd. But I can tell you that I remember when I came back after being with the Mets for 2 years, and I was in a Phillies uniform, and the first day I got back, I got a standing ovation when I got back. It was great.
And then.
Oh, look at that.
Wait. So then that day I had given an interview, and during the interview I had spoke to 4 reporters and said in general, you guys and you are, and one of the reporters said his editor spiced it up and changed the you guys to the Mets. Everything was the Mets. So it was me ragging the Mets about my departure.
Like you had an axe to grind.
Right. And so all of a sudden, I'm like,
Oh, wait.
I read the paper.
Welcome to.
I read the paper in the morning. I'm like,
Welcome
oh
back
my
to New
God.
York.
I get to the ballpark.
I can't even imagine.
I see Jeff Wilpon during batting practice, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, those were not my words. I said, I did not say the Mets. I never said once the Mets, because I know I'm not a guy to burn bridges.
Sure.
Because you never know when you get asked. I've been with almost every team that I play with twice, so I don't burn bridges. So having said that, when they, he's like, I know how the media is. Don't worry about it. And the whole time I'm just thinking he's holding it in his back pocket. I wound up getting hired to do SNY, so maybe it didn't.
Right.
But that next night, I'll never forget it, because I pitched the first night. The second night, I started warming up in the bullpen, and one of the fans just starts yelling out. He goes, "Hey, you can't be dogging us like that, bro." And I'm like, I can't even explain it. So I warm up. As soon as I come into the bullpen and I start hitting off, and the announcement, boo! Just a rain of boos, and I'm like, oh my God. So of course I give up a run in the inning, and I'm just shaking my head, and I go, that's what it's like to be a New York fan. And I get it.
But typically, I feel like it's the same players that get booed. It's the pitchers, and of course the guys in the outfield, and mainly because
They're accessible.
They're very accessible.
accessible.
They're right there. But I look at even first and third base. Those guys are so accessible, but they're not really getting booed unless something happened at the plate.
Yeah.
Or but the guys in the outfield,
When you get on the next
real
circle.
run.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
deck circle.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to be relentless. And I remember all over the league, we had Montreal Expos had this fan, and he would just sit there and just wear you out. So I was a rookie, and he would go, "You're not going to last very much longer." He's like, and I don't mean today, because I mean in the league. You're not very good. I'm there, stretching out, getting ready to hit. I'm timing him up, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna swing the bat too? Oh boy, I can't wait to see this." And the whole time I'm like, "Dude, just sit down." He's just right here.
I was just gonna say,
right on the fence, right
when
in your
you're
ear.
that close, it's not even like they're screaming. They're having a conversation with you.
Oh, yeah.
They're close enough to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of things like that. When he gets season tickets,
Oh, yeah,
just to do that, and get people that- it's a lot of fun if you treat it that way. I know that one of the guys I play with, Mike Fetters. Mike Fetters, first thing he would do, he'd come out to the bullpen, no matter where we're at, and he would take off his hat and he'd put his glove down and almost begging for mercy. "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Fetters, and I suck. Thank you very much." And everybody would, "Woo!" Then you'd warm up and go in the game, and they're cheering for him.
There you go.
They're cheering for him because they're like, "Oh my God, this guy's so humble.
He's cool.
He's a cool guy."
Yep.
But he would do it every single time. I go, "Doesn't that get old?" He goes, "Keeps him off your back."
Yeah, right.
Keeps him off your back.
Right, that's
I
the
gotta watch that.
strategy.
Oh, it's great.
Strategy.
Great strategy.
Well, hi Frank, hi Rob. Rob is of course agreeing with us about the booing the home team.
Yo.
However, he does want to talk about
Well,
yesterday's Mets game.
wait a second.
Rob.
Rob
Too soon.
says that,
Too soon.
but I believe that's a tongue-in-cheek
It
comment.
is.
Because Rob is a relentless Met fan.
He really is.
He's a very big critic, let's say.
Yeah. The Knicks too.
He's
The Knicks too.
the finder of the darkness in the bright cloud.
We do. We have a few friends like
He's
that.
not the silver
So Rob is
lining
that
guy.
way for the Mets. John Venosa is that way for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Everything is sunshine and rainbow. The other difference is I think it's sunshine and rainbows for John Venosa, who hates Met fans.
Right.
And yes, once
we've
again, he's
had-
calling him out.
Wes, we've had words and blocked each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I've confronted him here because at one
But he
point,
really does it more for the
He
Rams.
does
He
it-
really does. He does it to really poke and poke.
and he poked, and he said something about hoping somebody got hurt. And I was like, I went up to him and said, how in the world do you, as an athlete, wish somebody to get hurt? What kind of man does that?
John, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I started
He knows,
this.
he remembers. We're way past it now.
We love you, John, and I'm outnumbered here, so I really can't say anything.
We don't speak sports anymore.
And Rob, we started the conversation.
Yeah.
You know it's bad.
We started the conversation kind of about real fans, and so there's this separation. Rob's a real fan. John's a real fan.
Absolutely.
I mean, these guys are true fans of the game.
Passionate.
And I'm like, we're the same way. We're true fans of the game, and I root for anybody. If the guy, listen, against my team, if the guy's got a good outing, I think that's got to be celebrated. Like, I think that's something to be said. Listen, our team lost, but at the same time, I'd rather lose to something good than to lose on our mistakes. Like yesterday, we won. The Mets won yesterday. It was a win.
The Yankees didn't win.
We didn't play.
I'm just saying. See, being the Yankee fan, the lone Yankee fan here right now, I think maybe in the building, I might be the only Yankee fan here. But they lost. But my phone, and as I said earlier, before we came on the air, I made the mistake of when the game ended. I said, let me see what's happening.
Oh, don't do it, Joe.
And I looked through and I'm like, yeah, no.
Season's over. Season's done.
It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. It's one game.
It's only a sprint in the playoffs. But
That's why I said the Mets.
Very nice.
That's why we're going to record it later. So,
People got to calm down.
was yesterday one of the first times in, I don't know how many years, but all teams would have played on actual opening day. Because the last 5 or 6 years or whatever, it's been more than that. One or two teams have been playing.
Yeah, they started out in Japan, they started out somewhere else. So it was the first time that you saw so many games opening up. And I think all except for Texas, which we got to talk about.
We'll definitely get to that.
I don't understand for the life of me why they thought that would be cool to have full capacity.
Because the state opened
Well,
up.
Texas is its own country.
Texas is living in a bubble, apparently, and they don't realize that Florida started on that bubble and see how Florida's going. But anyway, I digress. Having said that, the scores. So you had, 3 games went extra innings? Right? 3 games went into the 10th. And my dad called because he hates that extra inning rule.
Well, we're going to talk about that today.
My dad hates that, so put a pin in that one. However,
bookmark that one.
What usually happens is extra innings is one. You're looking at not even 10% of the games go to extra innings, and so it shouldn't be a big deal. And already game one, it's been a big deal. Already it's been a big deal.
I know.
So Joe, let's talk about the Yankee game yesterday.
Well,
Let's talk.
Started good.
Started out well.
Yeah,
I will say this: looking at the glass half full, because I tend to live my life that way.
And that's the way
glass
we
half full.
should.
So Gary Sanchez, who we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, if anybody needed to have a good day on opening day yesterday, it was that young man.
He's under the microscope.
Under the pressure. He's in the pressure cooker. He's under the microscope. He's every adjective you could say about being on the spot. But not only did he hit a bomb, but he caught a good game. And he called a good game for Cole. And you know what? He was the bright spot. The other side of the coin, the glass half empty, and again, it's game 1. We know that. But when you got runners on second base, you can't be going up there swinging at ball 4, in some cases swinging at ball 5. You can't. And I don't have to tell you guys about Jay Bruce. When he gets hold of one, adios. But yesterday, he swung at some pitches that if he had an oar from a rowboat, he wasn't going to hit it. So I don't. And again, listen, I've never been against a major league pitcher unless maybe after the show we'll go out to the parking lot. But
You got to go to fantasy camp.
exactly. But I mean, so I can't even imagine, because Lord knows in my career of amateur ball, I struck out plenty too. But I mean, what are you swinging at? Take the walk or hit the other way. Move the runners along. Do something.
So Jay Bruce doesn't do that.
Jay Bruce does not do that.
We watched it as Mets. The Jay Bruce is pull only, and pull again.
Like Jason Giambi.
Yes. So what they figured by signing him is short porch and right. And just let him
use the advantage.
That's what he normally does. He's very good at beating the shift by hitting over it.
Right.
When he can't do that, and so he does tend to chase all over the place. I mean, I used to have breakdowns of literally What are you swinging at?
Right.
What are you swinging? He'll take the good one right down the middle.
Yep, which
you
he
know?
did.
He'll take the good one right down the middle, but then all of a sudden he's just in swing mode, feeling like he can pull everything. And we'll go back to that, but that Padres game where it was just home run central.
Yeah.
I saw Yu Darvish threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball in the outside part of the plate, and that Struble Cabrera pulled it into the right field bleachers.
Yeah, right.
Nothing is safe anymore.
Right. What's
How in the- This is a Struble Cabrera on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch moving away. Like they put the trail on it and everything, and I'm like, that thing is absolutely filthy. It moved this much. It was 97, up and away. Normally you would get a flail at it, maybe fouled off.
Right.
He pulled it into the bleachers in
Right.
right field.
So,
And now you're sitting here going, all right. Well, I went through
Now
line
what?
scores. I went through line scores of like all some of the biggest pitchers because opening day, day
Right.
one,
you raced
and
it.
you're looking 6, 7, 8 runs earned
I know.
first day.
I know.
Castillo for the Cincinnati had 8 runs. Kershaw had like 4 or 5 runs.
Kershaw didn't have a great outing, though.
It's unbelievable that you're looking at day one and all these, and I get it. Some places is weather oriented, on the field, whatever. But to see these guys get hammered like that on day one is not normal.
No,
Did Kershaw
it's not.
last 7 innings and give up the 8 runs yesterday, or did they pull him?
No,
He got pulled.
he got pulled.
Right, yeah,
he got pulled before that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got pulled. He wasn't going to go that deep. Not day one. Plus, he had already given up 4 early.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
No, it was crazy to look all over baseball and see that. Who was it? St. Louis with Arenado and Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Well, they got a lineup now. They are not.
Yeah.
I'm still mad, and I'm still mad because if you have an owner who has deep pockets, and that guy's available,
You got to get him.
I'm trading
Anybody,
anybody, everybody,
Sure.
because you're gonna have that guy for 8 years.
Yeah.
And he's top of the line, Gold Glove caliber at third base.
He's a vacuum.
Whether he lasts the 8 years
He
is
is
a different
great.
conversation, but
He's phenomenal.
Again, I'm not even looking, but I'm looking during those 8 years. If you are getting, and you already got Lindor in the trade, and you hadn't signed him yet, but if you've got the pockets, and I get it, they don't want to go over, and they're
Right.
now you're looking at it and they're going, oh, well, they signed Lindor. Can they sign anybody else? Can they sign the other 3 guys that are?
Well, I was gonna say, now they have to sign.
They have their work cut out.
They
Conforto.
have to
They got
sign
Conforto,
Conforto.
Stroman,
Right.
and Syndergaard are the next 3 that they
Got
got
their
to
work cut
try to figure out how to lock up.
Yeah.
Right? So having said that, I'm sorry, he didn't go for a lot.
Right.
He didn't go for a lot for a guy who's locked up in an 8-year deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did not go for a lot of prospects or anything.
No.
I would have given up major league talent. Hey, you can have Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah,
you can have you can have Brandon Nimmo. You could have one of our shortstops. You could have J.D. Davis.
Right.
So as Colorado, you're getting 3 major league players now.
Right.
Right. Guys that you can plug
Right.
right.
And third base has
and
been
they
a-
compete today
Yeah,
and for the next 4
absolutely.
years. You know, until
Sure.
they become free agents.
For
But,
sure.
And third base has been a bugaboo for the Mets for,
Well, since David Wright, right? So I mean,
well, before
even
him.
before David, you had that.
Yeah,
that
it was
time
a,
period.
yeah.
Ty Wigginton. So Ty Wigginton was the guy before David started
Right,
third base
right.
opening day.
Right.
There was one guy in between before David retired. The one guy in between, nobody got it on our trivia question.
Oh, wait a minute, give me some time. Here.
Come on,
And it
Joe.
was
Not-
20
as you know,
and it
I'm
was-
not a Mets
And I
fan.
believe it was 2018. I'm gonna say 2018 or 17. That
It wasn't Cabrera.
the
that
person.
had
Nope.
third base, right?
And that was one of the guesses.
Asdrubal Cabrera.
Cabrera started. At
I
short
liked
that day.
Cabrera too.
Cabrera started at short that day, but there was a third baseman opening day, and it was the only time. It was like the first time. It was 12 years of David Wright sandwiched between Wigginton and this guy.
And as typical, when Wigginton left the Nets, he
Oh,
also started to perform.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
But
Right?
he's
was great.
He's made his way around the horn.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's still playing.
No,
No,
he's not paying
Ty's-
anymore.
No.
Oh, the guy
The guy-
is not still playing.
The guy's not still playing.
The guy.
He's not still playing.
If I go any deeper, it's too much of a hint.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm gonna only give it like another 10 to 15 seconds, and then I'll say.
All right, so
See,
what you got?
this is where if I was a Met fan now, it would have helped me.
There's a guess in the chat.
Jose
Uh,
Reyes.
Right.
That was it.
Ding,
Rob,
ding, ding.
well, leave it to the Met fan.
Ding,
Rob.
ding, ding.
Yeah, it was
Rob.
Jose Reyes.
That's why you're a Met
Oh,
fan.
that's right. That was that whole
They moved
that was that
to the third.
shake-up.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. They
Yeah.
tried to
We
get him
didn't
to
like
start.
that. That's why we don't remember.
They got-
Yeah, right. We totally blocked out anything we don't
They
like.
tried to get him to start at third base, and
Yeah, but then who they put in it?
And Frazier is another guess.
Sure.
Todd
Cabrera was
Frazier,
there.
The Todd.
Oh, that's
father.
right.
Cabrera was there. So Cabrera started at short, and they
He
were,
actually liked Cabrera.
Yeah, Cabrera was. a good
Cabrera was
player.
always a solid player.
Yeah,
I liked
The
him.
other guest here was Frazier.
Right, that was the Todd father.
Yeah, that
You
was
know,
afterwards.
here's some
Yeah, that was it.
useless info because I have a lot of that.
Come on, Joe, share away.
Jim Barati from our Monday Night League.
Yes.
Who we got a guy that drives from Long Island.
We got a
Long
guy.
Island.
We got a guy.
We got a guy.
Whenever somebody from Staten Island says we got a guy,
Got a guy.
listen up.
Drives from Long Island to bowl in our league. That's how passionate and how much he loves, and he's been doing it for years. Jim
Yes.
Barati, right?
Yes, he's been bowling a long time.
So Jim Barati gets his tattoos at the same place Jose Reyes used to get his. And Jim said one time he was in there and the guy in the chair right next to him was like, "Yo, Papi, check out my tattoo with my daughter." I was like, "Aren't you Jose Reyes?" He said, "Yeah, I am." I was, "Oh, okay."
Do that again?
Yo, Papi, check out
It was like he was here. It was like he was here.
You're a little too
Almost.
tall.
Yeah.
Oh, you're about to say behind me.
If
I close my eyes. If I close my eyes.
So,
Can
but
you
yeah,
imagine?
so that's useless information from our draft league mate. Jim Barati gets his tattoos where Jose Reyes used to get his.
And just so you know, we got a guy,
Yeah.
and he's I love Jim, but he's the guy that's responsible for the
Yes.
floor outside. That's what he does for a living.
Yes, I love teasing Jim. As a matter of fact, year before last, Jim, I was bowling against him head to head in our league, and he opened up with the front six. And I picked my phone up and I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Jim, the Bell Parkway, they're about to put the bridge up.
Time to leave.
You better leave now. Now, right now. Stop striking and go
Strategy.
home."
See, this guy's all
Yeah.
about strategy.
Yeah. So, but anyway. So,
9 games.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He gets in
and,
there.
and game one, I have the Royals in a 13-run pool.
Oh, there you go.
So game run, in one of the 13
Yeah,
run
yeah,
pools,
yeah.
and of course they scored 14 runs
Yes.
yesterday.
That's
So
okay.
I don't even get on, you don't even get it on the board.
I think I've used it.
I mean, the opening day was
How?
one
How does that happen, right?
It's
the Royals. Come on.
what? We could talk about the Royals for a while. But we had one of the previous times we talked about the farm system. I mean, it's a big system, big with them. So when you look at that team and they're performing like that, I mean, well, they're playing against Texas Rangers. So
Oh, we were going to talk about. We were going to touch on Texas, right?
so wait, can we talk
Wait, so
about the
let's,
Mets first?
no, wait. First, he was recapping the Yankee game.
Oh,
We
we interrupted it. We digressed because we don't really care.
What did I say earlier?
Joe,
Who
it's
cares
not-
about the worst team in
you know,
baseball?
like,
They're in the basement. I don't talk about the basement teams.
As
Joe,
a
I'm
famous-
not a Yankee fan, but
Thank you.
and it's tough for me to say I'm a New York fan because it's tough for me to
I
root for
know.
them. But
I know, but as a famous baseball announcer in this town says, that's baseball, Susan. That's baseball, Susan. Opening day is a loss, but we'll build on it, and we only have 161 more to go.
Listen, you got Judge come up.
Yeah.
With
That was not
runners
good.
in scoring position.
Yeah.
In the 7th and the 9th.
Yeah, I know. Yep,
And they didn't score a run. Just to think that he's coming up in the 7th and the 9th
right.
with that
with
kind of
that opportunity, right,
And
right.
he didn't come through. Stanton was Stanton-esque.
Stanton did his Stanton-esque thing.
Stanton-esque
But I will
thing.
tell you this, though. One thing I did like, even though the Yankees lost, but one thing I did like was that they gave the green light to Mike Tauchman to steal twice in the 9th. He stole second, he stole third, and then he got thrown out at home on what would have been the winning run. LeMahieu just got on top of the ball and pounded it into the ground, and it was on contact.
It was another opportunity for him too
Yeah.
earlier in the game.
Yeah, LeMahieu
to,
doesn't take a collar often, but he did yesterday. So, but you know what? Marcus Simeon, the
Yeah.
second baseman,
Yeah.
made a great play and stole a run in the 7th inning, the 6th or the 7th inning. DJ hit the ball the other way, which is his strength, and he made a great play because he's a shortstop now playing second.
base.
So he went to his left, made a great play, and saved the run and probably saved the ball game. So, but yeah.
Again, 3-2. You
Yeah.
take those ball games.
Yeah.
anytime.
And you know what?
Pitching was great.
Pitching was great.
Yeah.
And Sanchez caught a good game, so we're going to build off that.
That's the most. I was actually praising him. I'm working with a young catcher now that I tried to explain to him as he gets older and guys throw harder and guys throw different breaking pitches with so much spin on it that the way that they deflect and ricochet on different fields,
Right.
it comes off differently.
Sure.
So for a guy like Sanchez to have to sit there and, okay, who's this kid? The guy, Loaiza yesterday throwing 98 miles an hour,
Right.
which, again, I think they need to check people
Right.
more often. I mean, all these guys are throwing 98 to 100 now, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But he comes in, he throws that. Now he's throwing his changeup in 3-2.
Right.
Great changeup that he threw.
Yeah.
But Gary's got to block that,
Catch
right?
that,
He gets in the dirt. He's got to block that. He's got to make sure. So I think he's so cognizant and over it. We even saw that last year where he would be down in the right position. The ball would bounce over. There's nothing you can do about that. But immediately the fans, oh, he's terrible. Listen, Pudge Rodriguez would have had a hard time with it. But Molina would have had a hard time with it. But it just gets magnified because anytime it happens.
Right, and then when you don't make the ones you should make.
Right.
Then you don't get
lazy.
any.
You can't get lazy at all. You can't get lazy at all. So when you think, hey, no big deal, I'm just gonna kind of backhand scoop this one, and it gets by you, and that guy moves up a base, and it comes back to bite you. That's when it's the worst.
That's what a Yankee fan thing.
Well, yeah, that's for later. Wait, so back to the trivia question.
Wachowski?
No, I'm a little delayed here.
Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah, Kevin Mitchell, who played the outfield too. Played third, played first, played the outfield.
Here's more trivia about Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell played, I believe it was over 30 games at shortstop.
I remember him playing shortstop. I remember him playing
for the Mets.
Yeah,
and that's
he
one
was
of the,
versatile.
When I remembered him. I remembered him well. The gold tooth, the catching bare hand, the whole 9 yards. I remember I liked him as a player, but I did not remember him playing shortstop.
Yeah.
A guy who's a big left fielder like that playing
Yeah.
shortstop, and he played over 30 games at least for the Mets.
Yeah, he did. He did. Of course. Should I take my Yankee hoodie off now, or should I wait?
No.
All right,
Listen, it's good. The season is going to go how the season always goes.
I know.
They're going to have good games. They're going to have bad games. They're going to get killed on the games. Like yesterday, 3-2. Great pitching. A couple of bad opportunities missed. The Yankees will be there at the end. I don't think there's any question.
So the meme of the day.
Go ahead.
Come on now.
Yes, it's
We're going to win number 28.
That's right.
It was a rebuilding game. Okay.
Sorry, I just at the expense, Joe.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's funny that it's A-Rod.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he got his ring, you know. But
You know what? I just feel good because we suck many seasons. We take lots of hits all year long.
It's like Boston. Boston every year, even before they became the best team in the AL East over the last 20 years. Before that time, they were always right out of the gate one of the better teams. Right when they get to June, and
exactly.
just goes. So Boston fans every year, oh, this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. And
Just like that too.
And you know it too.
Exactly.
And as Yankee fans, you're like, okay, it's like you said, it's a marathon, right? So that horse all of a sudden dies down or goes to take a drink, and the Yankees steady the whole way, and they get all the way to the promised land.
Although in the movie Fever Pitch, you know they had to redo that ending, right? In the movie?
Yes, I heard that. I read that on a
Freddie
trivia
Prinze
thing.
Jr.?
No, that's with Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, yes.
They had to redo that because the Yankees were up 3-0. See, I'll even touch on that. Good memory.
Oh, that was a
And they had to
that.
redo that ending.
So Jennifer, who gave up on baseball because she said it's not fun anymore, also says some of the best Yankee seasons certainly have been
It's a
losing on
game.
opening day, which is fun. I mean, we're just having some fun, but it's true. I mean,
Game then counts as much as the game in the middle.
So
as much
see,
as
I don't
the
think
game.
you could, but I don't think you could go like Vegas with it. Right?
No.
They lost up, so now
Yeah.
all my money in now.
No.
This isn't GameStop.
No, Jennifer's right. In 1998,
moon.
the year that they won 114 games, they were 0-3 coming out of the gate. And there were people actually saying that if the Yankees came home for the home opener without a win, Joe Torre might have been fired.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you people out of your mind? But
there's plenty more games ahead.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
It's only game one.
And not how you start is how you finish, and usually
Yeah.
it's the team that gets hot.
At the right.
Not even not August,
Right.
because remember the Mets won like 15
Yeah,
in a
right,
row in
yeah,
August.
right.
And what was the first thing I said? Too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Too soon. It's too soon. If they won 15 in a row in September,
Now you're talking.
I'm happy as can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
Is
the key to it.
Is the opening day stat the Mets opening day game?
Oh, best
Yeah,
best
best
of
of
baseball.
baseball.
That's the baseball. Which
And
what
they
has that
didn't-
ever done for them?
They didn't.
Even when they stunk.
Yesterday I told all my friends, I guarantee you the Mets don't lose today. You guys want to bet? You guys want to bet? Take the bet. I had already known the game was canceled. They're like, really? You feeling good? I said, hey, DeGrom, lights out. I love this line about
Lights out, all
I
right.
guarantee you the Mets will not lose today.
And that's such a shame. So there were two postponements yesterday, right? One for rain,
Right.
and then of
And
course
that was early too.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Orioles.
well, when she first said it to me, I was like, the rain? I'm like,
No, I wasn't
That
thinking.
was early too, and I was like, why are they they're banging this game so early. Was it a 1 o'clock game?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
It had to be a 1 o'clock game.
What, the Orioles game?
Yeah.
It was a 1 o'clock game.
Right?
It was, yeah.
Ah, don't you think I'd push that thing back?
It was a 1 o'clock game.
So with the cancellation and postponement of yesterday's Met game, one of the things I asked Nazareth yesterday, do we think it's ambitious to have really ambitious to have a 162 game season? Because yesterday's only one sign of what potentially could come.
Which actually,
But if
right.
everybody gets their ducks in a row, we're not going to have this problem. But
Right.
essentially, I mean, it could continue to happen all season long because of some stupidity or whatever might happen outside the bubble. It's like, well, you call it, name it, everything that's in the book that happened last season
It's
too.
going to happen. Yeah.
So, do you think a little over ambitious? Do you think?
No, here's the thing. I think with the precautions that are being taken as vaccines become more prevalent, I think more and more players, coaches, family members. That's another thing, right? You've gone already a whole year of not being able to see family members.
Right.
That's one of the things for someone like myself. I will travel with the team. All of a sudden, I got 20 more cousins somewhere that I'm going to play that want to come to the game. They want to hang out. They want to see you. They want to touch you. They want to hug you. You can't do that anymore. Right. You know what I mean? But as we get into the season, and I think the technology that they're using to help sanitize things is a lot better. The precautions they're taking all the way around, I think they're considering more things that they considered ever before.
Right.
Remember, we used to even talk about it. Yeah, you can have these guys locked up in a hotel room and the floors locked off to those team, but room service.
Right.
The people that
Right,
are
the
handling
other
the
people,
food.
right.
Delivering, right.
There's a million different factors.
Absolutely.
There's a million different factors, right? You got to eat with a plastic utensil. So I think we're in a better situation than we were a year ago.
Right.
The bubble, it's easy to maintain the bubble, right? It's very easy to maintain the bubble. Everybody's locked in, except for a few that got out of the bubble.
Some that escaped.
They got out underneath.
So other than that, though, you look at how baseball, they were traveling right from the very beginning.
Right.
And it wasn't, there was a few flare-ups here and there, but it wasn't that bad. What surprised me about yesterday being canceled, they have an alternate site. They have players ready to go, who had just finished spring training.
Right.
And if you knew that this was an issue, why weren't those
Right, that
players
wasn't
brought in?
Right. Bring them in.
It happened last year with Soto.
Right.
Right.
Soto, day one, their superstar.
Right.
All of a sudden, he's out for 14 days.
Yep.
And yet they didn't have.
Right.
I'm not sure why that wasn't in place. Where you got 5 extra guys right there at the site, bring them in.
They should have
So
expanded the
to me, I
roster.
think there's a bigger thing, or it's a larger spread that they're thinking is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not just 1 or 3 random guys that went to a club,
Right. Yeah.
to celebrate that they made the team,
Yeah.
and it's maybe, hey, they traveled together on a flight that something happened.
Right.
That to me is where I'm concerned, because there's no reason that the alternate site shouldn't have had players
Available.
available.
Sure.
The whole season last year started. Miami Marlins started a week late.
Right. I remember.
I mean, they're playing the Phillies too.
Yep.
They started a
They
week
kept
late
delaying.
Oh,
because
that's right, because of Philly.
They kept delaying everything, and then they had massive, they had like a week's worth of doubleheaders almost.
Yeah.
Four
Yeah, there was a lot. There
They
was
played-
4 or 5.
they
Right?
played. I
Doubleheaders?
think they played something like 13 games in 14
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And even because they took off the off days, they had the double headers, which was 7 inning
7
double
innings,
headers, which
yeah.
they still kept.
Right. I know. It's
It's not
not
universal DH, but
Yeah.
that's a bargaining chip.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bargaining chip for the
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
We'll say.
It is.
Yeah, 162. I think is. I think it's good. I think it's feasible. I think as we're hopefully there's not a strain that's going to put a strain on everyone and everything.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
I think I think baseball is going to be able to survive the little, speed bumps
Yeah.
for the most part. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it.
And as long as you pick them up early,
Yeah,
as long as we're
absolutely.
learning early, which
Absolutely.
you would think, and we've learned so much to that point. You've learned so much last season.
Yeah.
That what did you apply here? The difference now. Okay, now we're going to put people in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're no more cardboard cutouts, or maybe some.
Some, yeah. You got the spacing. That was the thing with Texas.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Texas?
So they went full 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Florida? What was Florida?
Florida was, I believe, 20%. No, they were less. Because they have a 7:30 curfew down in Florida in Miami right now.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, that's
7:30
right, because of
Oh.
spring break.
Right,
They got a
Oh, yeah.
7:30
Yeah.
curfew down there.
You
So
got those
I'm
maniacs.
pretty sure the numbers came up. I want to say it's somewhere between 12.5% to 20%. Nothing more than 20%.
Right.
Every other team was only about 20%. I
Right.
think one other team did 30%, and nobody's really complaining about that except the season ticket holders.
Right.
Which you feel bad for because they wanted to be there and their tickets kind of got taken away.
Yeah.
But I don't understand Texas and their logic.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to think that that's going to be okay because all it takes is one.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're checking for
And then how do you
vaccination or recent test.
How do
The
you
Mets
get
and Yankees are the only ones that I know so far that are doing that.
Right.
Where you have to show.
They're taking your temperature too when you walk in.
The temperature, they're doing all the time. But as we know, asymptomatic, temperature checks mean nothing.
Right.
Now you go to a ball game and section 105, everyone is now COVID positive.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would even
that didn't make
try
sense.
that.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out because then people are going to have to make a choice. They're not going to go, but they are going to go and they don't care,
Right.
and that's fine. That's on them.
Yep.
But I just don't see that they're going to be selling out these games over a period of time. It doesn't make any sense. But we'll see. Who knows? I mean, people are traveling.
Tampa Bay is 20%.
The Yankees are 20%.
Yeah, and I think New York, that was the governor's. I believe the governor's
that's all the
office
sports.
guidelines that were.
Everybody's
set.
between like 20 and 30.
Yeah. New York, the Knicks, the Islanders, the Rangers.
What I like about
Houston is 50.
the Mets specifically with the Yankees, it's 20%. So we have a 20-game plan, and Nazareth originally, right? They gave us all the dates. You had your option. Then all of a sudden, when they realized to play together, they're going month by month. So I do feel that. I mean, the guys that do buy the full season, I mean, it does make it difficult because you truly can't accommodate those full season ticket holders. So I'm really interested to see how they're handling that. But for 20 games, it's certainly manageable.
Right.
But what they gave us 3 options.
They gave us 3
dates,
options for 3 dates in April.
Assuming the
3
same
package,
for
3 separate packages
Which
for
would-
3 games.
right. So
A
the end of the month
Saturday
will be the same
package, a
thing.
Sunday package,
Weekday.
and a weekday
Just April?
package.
Just April.
Well, because they just started with
Okay.
April. Because then they're going to see how it progresses and
Everything
they
goes
can-
okay, they'll open up a little
Right,
bit more,
right,
tickets available.
right.
All right. Makes sense.
And listen, it is what it is. Actually, the seats we ended up getting are pretty close to where we are,
Oh, good.
where our original seats were.
Very good.
And listen, we've been going through this for a year. Do the best you can. People are going to be annoyed. It's not going to be like you want it to be.
No. At least
So
not right
it's
now.
going to be what it is.
The best part, we have a 20-game plan. We used to have a full season plan. Right? Nazareth
Exactly.
had
We
a
used to
full
sit
season
with
plan
them.
they shared with friends, and then it would change to a Steve, you, then Lisa, and then Marco, and we went to games. I was there all the time. Made friends with all these people, and I'm like, how did we do this? I just didn't.
Yeah.
We can't go to 8 games that we get to go to now. And I'm like, it was easy because you're a teenager. You go, oh, just get in the car and we go. I can't even fathom doing a full season.
Baseball's a big commitment.
Unless you live there. I mean, if you live there to go,
Right.
and most of those people were locals, where they lived right there in Long Island City.
Long Island
Right.
means,
Fine, but for us, the back and forth,
That's a
and
hike.
I love I missed going to a game. I mean, that was something.
At the ferry, don't they have the ferry that's still?
They stopped the
They
ferry.
stopped it, yeah.
Oh, well, they
That
used
was
to have the
convenient.
ferry from
The Yankees had a ferry.
South,
Yes.
South,
Those were awesome.
Yeah.
South Manhattan somewhere.
Yeah, down by like Piers 17.
Take the
around
train to
there.
the game.
Take the train to the game.
There it is.
Yeah, take the train.
I did that
Well,
once, never again.
Going back,
It's a miserable experience.
well,
Going home
you
is
know
fine.
what? I think it's something that you kind of have to do.
You have to do once. You have to experience
Just
it.
to experience that, and then the after game
I
thing.
did it
Ask
twice.
John Rocker about it.
I did
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I did it
Crazy.
twice because we had to do it at City Field when we were
Right.
Then it's right. I mean, it was even more convenient
Yes.
to go and do it.
I always took
Well, when I was a kid, we used to have it was, oh God almighty. Yeah, we used to take the wagon train. But they used to actually have a cheese bus that ran from the ferry all along Bay Street to Shea
What
Stadium.
kind of bus?
It was a cheese
A
bus.
cheese bus.
It was a no-frills
The-
cheese bus.
the problem
I
is-
was on that thing 3 times a week.
Jennifer makes it a point. The toll was like paying for an extra seat.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But listen, you know what? Now that we go 6, 8, 10 times a year,
Right.
it's not it's not so bad. And you know what? Once you get there, it's like, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, you have a
Oh,
good
I
time.
loved it. I
There's
loved it.
nothing
Just
like that.
driving up to the stadium, and I'll never remember my first game. And everybody has the same memory. You're like walking up that tunnel,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
seeing the field and how green it was, and I still feel that way when I go there.
We had amazing seats at Shea.
We've always had
the
we've
best
lucked out.
seats at Shea.
We've always had really good seats.
Those
We have
third
really-
base seats. I mean, they were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't, I mean, I do like the seats that we have now.
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
like the ones we first had when we.
No, the
The
foul line,
outfield, and
they
then
were okay.
the outfield and the Mo zone. and
When,
then
what's
the
his name,
outfield.
Jeff Francoeur was out there, we used to scream out.
Frenchie.
Francoeur.
Yeah,
Frenchie.
he got yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
He got yelled at a lot. But all
Well,
those
what
guys-
about the bullpen ones? When we were right next to the bullpen,
But the problem with that experience, that takes a little bit away from this.
the whole thing,
That's no different.
yeah.
Have you been to AT&T Stadium in Dallas, in Arlington?
No,
Cowboys?
I'm the Cowboys.
It's
Well,
the
that's-
Jerry Dome, we call it.
Jerry World.
It is-
It's Jerry World.
It's ugly and beautiful at the same time.
Right, it's the
When you-
biggest, most ugliest, most beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And the ballpark in Arlington, the new one is hideous. The
Yeah.
new ballpark
The
is,
new
is,
range
is
is the
gross
yeah,
looking.
yeah.
But the old, it was one of those really nice
It
modern
was
day
a throwback.
ballparks.
It was a throwback.
Like
a Camden Yards type.
it didn't need replacing just yet.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They got the money and did it. That whole complex is pretty cool. But the
Exactly.
stadium, when you go to a game, the first game I went to was a Big 12 game. We sat all the way up.
Oh,
We
wow.
watched the screen. And then
Yeah.
we sat down, I was
Right,
watching,
so removed.
watching a game like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The players are that big
Mhm.
when you're sitting up there.
We have a news flash. Is this true? All games against the Nats are now postponed.
Oh, so they're not playing tomorrow either?
I guess not.
I trust Frank. He's a bowling league mate, and I golf with him. So if he says it, it's got to be true.
It's
All right then,
true.
Joe.
It's
we're
April
going with
2nd,
that.
so I have to trust him. If it was April 1st, I wouldn't trust him.
That's a
Right,
different story.
Wow, that's a shame.
Well, there's somebody from the Bronx who loves the
Postponed.
Thank you.
Saturday postponed. Sunday postponed.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
So
So we, our
so
first game is
something
Monday.
bigger than they
So
let
is that
Monday
a home
with the
game?
Phillies.
Is that a home
You're
game
right,
for the
maybe
Mets?
you're right.
Is
What's
that
that?
a home game on Monday,
No.
the Mets? Oh,
No,
in
they
Philly.
don't, they're
I'll
not
come
home
back
till
to
the
the
8th.
Oh, they're in Philly. Okay.
I'll come back to the end.
Okay. So
John Heyman reported.
John Heyman.
John
Well,
Heyman
then if
said
John
it.
Heyman reported it, then I used to see John Heyman on the subway a lot when I was in the city. I see John
Well,
Heyman.
since you're retired now, you're
Since I
no
retired
longer
now,
in
I
the
won't
city.
be in the city anymore.
All right, Nelson. New season. What's the thing you're looking forward to most?
For me, it's going to be the new era of the Mets with new ownership, seeing what they do at the trade deadline, and seeing this is the deepest Met team I can remember, where you have guys who have made all-star teams sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big difference,
Sure.
right? And even a guy like Luis Guillorme, who you would love to see play every day just to see what you get out of
Yeah,
him. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
for me, that was the guy that I was, where just give me a chance, just give me a chance. And you're like, we can't. Look who we got.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
But I would love to see that guy get a chance because he's so good and he's so steady and he's so cool, confident. And he's been like that the whole time.
Yeah.
I was on, 2018 when he first came up. I was on Frances and I had met him when the Tebow Mania was going on.
Right.
And they were taking batting practice together. And he goes, dude can't hit. He goes, he can't hit. He can't do the things that a ball player can do.
Right.
He's like, he was coming up to me and asking me how I, hit the ball to left field with backspin. How did I pull the ball at certain time? And I had to explain, it's not like a video game.
Right,
You're
right.
not just
swing
swinging the controller.
So,
right?
This isn't PlayStation.
I watched Guillorme and just kind of watched his demeanor, and I remember the first thing that put him on the map was remember that ball, the bat went flying into the dugout, he caught it,
Yeah.
never moved, and just
Yeah, yeah, there you go, yeah.
But this kid has always had that quiet confidence, and so when the Mets started signing all these other backup pieces that I said are all stars, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get screwed again. He's gonna get screwed again. And I'm glad he's on the team. He's a guy that I root for. Having said that, if that's your weakest link,
Right, that's
Right.
pretty good.
how good's your team,
Yeah.
right? So
That's pretty
it's
good.
going to be J.D. Davis is the biggest X factor of how well he plays third base,
Mhm.
and if he can hit away and not just at home because he puts up
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
monster numbers at
So
home.
good at
He
home.
But-
killed the
monster
Yankees
numbers
in
at
Citi
home.
Field. That much I know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was that. What was it? They were calling him J.D. Wentworth. You need RBIs. Just call him J.D. Davis. Call J.D. Davis. 180. RBIs. That's something that I'm watching for him. I'm confident in Dom and Nimmo and Conforto. I think this is the first time that you look around the field and you're very confident. McCann has been a very pleasant surprise with
He's
how
good.
well he catches
He's
his throws.
very good. Yeah,
And
he's good.
he's another guy that has this confidence of now I'm the starting player
Right.
for the next 4 years. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have
Right,
to
so
worry about
now I can really, really work on my
so
game. instead of-
that's a twofold thing because normally the backup catchers that are successful are that way because it's limited playing time.
That's right. Yeah.
So now him playing every day, see how much he gets exposed, if his numbers, I doubt they're going to be with 7 home runs and 80 at bats or whatever he had, and now you're going to be like, oh well, you extrapolated to 600.
Right. It doesn't quite
He's
work
going to have
that way.
67 home runs. No, so
He's a good catcher.
if I can get 25 out of him, and batting in the 8 hole,
Yeah.
he's batting in like
that'd
the
be
7 or
great.
8 hole right
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
So that tells you how deep this lineup is. It's exciting with Lindor, having Lindor for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the first time that the Mets have had a player in their prime, knock on wood, that where David Wright was that guy that you thought, I can't wait to watch this guy finish
What
as
a
a Met. And,
sad story that was.
and because of the spinal stenosis. But this is the first time you got a guy that has that star magnetism about him and has not yet disappointed in any way.
Well, it certainly seems like Pete Alonso is on his team.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny part, right? Because all players, that's what we say. They're like, do you think it's too much? And inside, nobody's worth that kind of money. Like, if you ask me about Trevor Bauer being worth 40 or Lindor worth 34, it's apples to rocks, not apples to oranges. So for me, when you talk about an everyday player who could play every day, but you're not going to stress them to play every day, they're going to manage him that way, and they're going to get the max out of him that they want. But you have a guy who, my best thing I keep saying about, it's Beltran and Reyes had a love child. And there he is.
Oh, well, that's
power hitting
Power
switch hitter, right? Power hitting switch hitter who plays Gold Glove defense, who has the speed to steal 30 bases, who has the smile.
Right.
Beltran didn't have a smile.
No.
Yeah, no.
Never saw him smile.
No.
I don't know if he had teeth. I played with him. I don't think he had teeth. He was right to smile. So you have the smile of a Jose Reyes.
Right.
This guy is the total package.
He has fun.
Right. And it's not he has fun just because he's in the show. He has fun because he's like you said, he's a quiet leader. And he leads by example.
Yeah.
David Wright used to do that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to tell people to follow him.
Right.
People just did. And I look at that already in spring training. They were showing clips of him working with J.D. Davis on his defense.
Right.
A coach can tell you 900 times, do this, do this, do this.
Right.
And until you get another player come over and say,
It's different. It's a different message.
the player can say the same exact thing.
Right.
Do this.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
do this. So that coach is just kicking himself. Because it's going to come out in the report when Davis makes the play. He's going to go, Lindor worked.
Right.
2 years I rolled you ground balls every day. And now all of a sudden Lindor comes over and says the same exact thing I said, but it makes more sense.
His teammate.
Yeah, but don't you think it's different? Coming from another player who is kind of probably giving you that message
Always.
in a way that they understand where you're coming from, and not that coaches don't,
Always.
but it's just the message. I think it's given differently and received differently.
Coaches don't fail.
Right.
Sure.
Coaches don't fail.
Sure. Right.
Right? Coaches don't fail. So no matter what they tell you, I can try it. And
Right.
they always say try.
Yeah.
You need to do this. You know how it is with kids. If you tell them you need to do something, or
Right.
don't do something,
Right.
what happens?
Of
So
course.
it's the same thing for a coach. When you tell you try this,
Right. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And Dor comes over and says, "Hey, try this,"
Yeah, right.
and it works.
Right.
It works.
That's
It's
great.
because you know they have failed. They
Right.
have
Right.
figured
They're
out how to
coming
be-
from the same place you are.
I know this guy can pick it.
Right.
Yeah. I googled the coach's numbers. He made a shit ton of errors.
You're right.
I'm not so confident. When was the last time he fielded a ground ball
Exactly.
that's being hit on 107 off the bat? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
that's where it's clutch to have guys that can lead that way. And I used to love that about, even though Kadire was at the end of his rope, even though Curtis was a quiet player, Conforto soaked up everything from those guys like a sponge in his first year. Remember when Conforto came up? He came up in the pennant race.
Yeah.
He's
right in the
taking
middle of it.
He's taking Kadire's job right in front of him.
Right.
And Kadire had no bones about it. He's like, "Have you seen this guy swing like that?
Yeah.
Have you seen him?" He's like, every time that something happened in the outfield, it wasn't a coach that went to talk to him, it was Kadire.
Right.
Sat him down, said, "Hey, listen, next time, play back a little deeper, do this, do that." And those things are why those veteran guys are kept around.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
They're
Absolutely.
kept around because of that. Now in today's game, they feel like they have a coach
Right.
that can do that
Right.
and give you the analytics of why, and it's too much. Where I would rather have that guy,
Right.
that
Right.
veteran that I
He's
know
talking my language.
that has done it.
He's
And
done it, right.
he can come over and he'll say it in a totally different way than 30% of the time this guy hits the ball with 2 strikes to the right.
Don't give me stats.
I don't need that. I'm not here because of my ability to function analytically. I'm here because physically I have the tools. So what do I need to do physically? Hey, read the bat, read the swing.
Right. Exactly.
Plays over a little bit.
Exactly.
I'll go to my grave saying that Andrew Jones is not overrated as an athlete, but he is overrated as a center fielder. And I'll tell you why. The Braves as a staff didn't miss the outside corner.
Right.
So it's a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, well, if
it's a right-handed hitter,
he knew
right.
play.
He knew exactly
his
that.
first step, the quickest first step in the game was moving this way.
Right.
And if they hit the ball that way, he wasn't going to
Get it anyway.
But he made it look like, oh my God, this guy's on top of everything. It's easy.
True.
And he was very smooth with the
It's-
basket
yeah,
catches. And,
It's
you know,
easy
with the
because
glove.
he can get to it because
Right.
he's already anticipating
Right.
they're not going to miss.
Right.
I'm going to get there.
And I'm going to be
And it worked out. And it worked out beautiful.
That's a whole
You
different
can't do that anymore.
frame
Right.
of mind.
Right.
That's
You can't do that anymore because you have so many pitchers who are throwers
right.
who are missing their location,
That's
and
true.
now you've got the poor center fielder playing like a hockey goalie.
Right.
He's the hockey goalie
Yes,
in center
right,
field
yeah,
trying to
which
figure
way.
out, you
Yeah.
know, as soon as the pitch is thrown and they normally kind of take that step and then see where it's at. It's away. I'm leaning. You
Right.
can't do that anymore because I just finished saying 97 away. I'm leaning this way. He just pulled it into the
The
bleachers.
other way, yeah. Yeah.
So it's a different era in baseball.
Yeah, it is.
By far for things
It
like
is.
I'm
That's
just
true.
excited that Steve Cohen's back on Twitter.
that. For now.
For now.
For now.
He came back, I was like, yes, please
Listen,
do.
I don't blame him for you know, you got to take a break, especially when
Yeah.
things get. That's the problem when you are on social media.
Yep.
You expose yourself, and if you're the owner of a team, you can't just handpick the good because they'll call you out. Because all you do is
Absolutely.
handpick the good.
Yep.
Right.
They know that. It's New York fans. He's a New York fan. He would read right through
Right,
that.
correct.
So you can't do that,
No,
and it's scary. But in this day and age, to expose yourself that way, and that's why I said about Trevor Bauer. Wasn't going to be a problem on the field. It's
Right.
going to be the off the field when he
Right.
does not perform.
His shenanigans.
When he's at a
Right.
4.5 ERA and they're saying that he's making $1 million,
Right.
you know,
Right.
a 4.50, he's making $45 million. And look, it's a match made in heaven.
Mhm.
That's what you're going to hear. And what is he going to say? So what?
Right.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
now I got a
He's
guy
gonna
who doesn't
just-
care.
He's going to clap
because he's
right
getting
back.
paid.
Yeah.
And so that's just going to just pile on itself. I was the whole time avoiding that like the plague. And now that he's signed and he's with LA, I will be one of those guys watching his line scores.
Yeah.
I watched the one 2 starts
Stalking
ago.
away.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
watched the
God.
one 2
Yeah.
starts
He
ago
got
where
bombed.
he got bombed 3 home runs, and he's like, "Oh, spring training doesn't matter," and I'm like, "It matters. It matters when you're going to face that team, and they
That's
know
right.
it's coming.
And
now.
they know what you threw.
They've picked up on something.
Yeah.
That stuff gets in your head, and
Yep.
all of a sudden, if that gets around to the rest of the league or whatever it is that they picked up on,
Yep.
that is very different for a guy who's going to be making guaranteed $85 million for 2 years.
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up because I want to go turn the clock back. As Frankie and Naz know, I like to turn the clock back.
Do we have the
So,
effect?
yeah.
Means we're out.
So turning back the clock to another series that, as a Yankee fan, ripped my heart out. 2001,
Mhm.
Arizona. When the series ended, a lot of the Diamondbacks players said that they knew when Andy Pettitte was going to throw his off-speed stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, as a former major leaguer
Mhm.
and as a pitcher, how much of that stuff is that truth? Are they making that up to make Pettitte or the Yankees feel worse? What is the deal with
Oh
that?
no, it's not about making them feel worse. Whoever it is that leaked it is an idiot. Because you want to hold those secrets.
Right, exactly.
You want to keep those secrets.
Right.
Well, the
Like,
series was over.
Right, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but still,
You might
there's
face
another
him again.
year coming,
You might
yeah.
face him again. So you have that written down. You may get traded. You may go to. You have all that stuff written down in a little black book.
We'll turn it back to clock.
Yeah.
They said when he held, I forget if he was at his chest when there was a runner on, or if he was at his belt.
Mhm.
They knew when a breaking ball was
So he had
coming.
to tell.
Anything that's that obvious, a belt
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this, that's obvious, right? So what's usually pretty funny is that people are watching guys starting, starting pitcher, he's in the windup, right? And he does something in the windup a little bit differently on his breaking ball. Okay, boom, somebody gets a hit. Now he's in the stretch. Everything just changed.
Right,
So unless he tells on both,
right.
then what does it matter?
Right.
So you can only do so much out of the windup because as soon as you get a hit,
Right.
it
You
changes.
change it.
So you look for the tell in the stretch. You don't
Right.
look for the tell really in the windup.
Right.
The windup, you kind of let it be whatever it is. That stretch is where you have those veteran guys, like we talked about, the Chase Utleys of the world, who's sitting on the top
Right.
step, just kind of staring.
Right.
And what they're doing is they're drawing lines every time he sets his hands. They're like, okay, his hands are parallel with his letters. And the first move he does is he goes out, it's a breaking ball. The first move he does is he goes up, it's a fastball.
Right.
Closer.
Kimbrel. Oh, crazy.
Right. So Kimbrel, he struggled against the Astros when Boston played the Astros, and they figured out in that playoff series what it was. Same thing. It was he comes set high like this, and if he came up pulling his hands back, if he left his hands out, it was a breaking pitch. This one was fastball because he held it tighter. When they got to game like 6 or something like that, I'll never forget it because it was JJ Redick came up.
Josh Redick.
Josh, thank you. JJ is the
basketball player.
So Josh Redick is up. Josh Redick is up to bat. No exaggeration. He stands there, and Kimbrel comes up, and he comes set, and he goes here. Throws a fastball. He takes it, and he backs out of the box, and he looks right in the dugout like, right now, guys. What do we got? What just happened? So something as subtle as that, and all he had to do was come set here. He could possibly still do the same thing, but it was a different spot than he was looking for. And that's why when we talk about the Astros, and unless it was an electronic buzzer that you could feel, I'm not banking on this with 46,000 people screaming in the stadium.
How are you going to hear that?
There's no way, as a major league hitter, I'm banking on code breaking as this guy's winding up, and it's 4 seconds. They've shown it. They've shown it countless times. Oh, it's 4 seconds from when he comes set to you hear banging. There's been banging going on the whole time. These thunder sticks banging against the wall. It's the playoffs. You have a silent stadium. You're like, do you hear the whistle? Do you hear the coach whistling? He's telling them a train come by too. Yeah, that's what Altuve's doing. Was that one whistle or two? No shot. No shot. Electronic buzzers, cheating, that's over the line. But there's no way in heck that banging in any way, shape, or form. I did it in a small scale, in a room filled with 100 people, stood in one corner, and I'm banging on a garbage can like this. In the other corner was Jake Brown, who does the podcast with me. I walk over to him. I go, so what was coming? He goes, I didn't hear anything. I go, there's 100 people in here. How could you not hear it? I go, 48,000 are going nuts. It's the 8th or 9th inning. You're telling me that that's how they deciphered what was coming? No, I said, look at the majority
of
the pitches.
And in a split second, it's so
The majority of the pitches are right in the middle of the plate. And they're like, oh, did you see him lay off that slider in the dirt in the other end? He's a major league hitter. Of course he did. Stop the nonsense. You have to realize that these guys are the best of the best. They're the best 750 on the planet. To which we'll go even further. There's only been 22,000 Major League Baseball players in the history of the planet. Stop making it out like this is Little League and everybody can do it. It's a different breed.
There's a select
absolutely.
That's a different breed.
I love the fans during the game. Come on! You suck!
That's why when people go to fantasy camp and just for 7 days or 5 games,
put them in their
5 days, they come back and they turn around and they literally turn around and go, you have no idea. Like these pop-ups that the old men are hitting and they turn around and I go, just think, this guy hits it about 3 times as high and with the rain coming down and the lights and the fans yelling and booing and everything else, and he might not make the play, but you sit there and go, oh, I would have caught that easy.
That's a strike.
No,
oh, come on.
It's really amazing how high. I had to be, I don't know, my early 20s, maybe my late teens. Frank Howard was coaching for the Yankees. He managed the Mets too. He was hitting fungos. The ball went up off his bat. I was like, oh my God. It looked like a lentil up in the air. And there's the catchers just waiting for it. I'm like, there's no way. I would like run the other way.
I don't want to take my face.
The ball has so much spin, so much action, and it comes back towards the plate. And they know that from doing it so many times. But if you put anybody else there to do it,
oh my God,
it's an absolute
disaster. It looked like it was going out of the park. And then it would spin back. And there's the catchers, right?
And you're like, oh, I've caught fly balls before. It's not the same.
I had an appreciation for Ron Hassey, and who was the other catcher the Yankees had then? Probably Butch Weiniger and Ron Hassey. And Ron Hassey. I'm like, how do these guys do this?
It's
unbelievable.
The whole thing, if you were to sit there and do the angles and the measurements and the spins, which is what they do now, you do that now. And to put it in context for regular people that haven't played or can't have the physical ability. You look at those, when they look at those numbers and you equate it to something else, and you're like, do you understand how hard that is? Do you get it now? Do you get why you haven't played? First of all, you stop playing because you don't like to get hit by a baseball.
Right.
Which is something
That's not good. Yeah.
Well, that needs to come back.
Yeah.
They need to take the armor off.
So funny, quick, Frank Tisolano is reminiscing about his Mets fantasy camp participation.
Yes.
But Joe Laverty is another one that has been on with us and talks about his Mets fantasy camp experience.
Yeah, no, I'm currently training a 72-year-old fantasy camper who had a double knee replacement at 71.
Oh my God.
Came back from that. I started training him as a hitter, and now he wants to pitch.
Oh boy.
Oh.
No, and I'm not kidding.
Really?
He gets up on the mound and throws strikes,
God,
which is more I can say for a lot of these pitchers. but his name's Bob Wasp, and he is an absolute beast. He comes fake name. I've got
To
video.
protect
I've got video.
Is he Italian?
Yes. on
Bobby
his mother's
Wasp.
side and his mother's side.
We know Bobby Wasp.
On his mother's
shorten
side.
the name.
He's under protection.
Yeah, right.
So, but this guy, I never forget it because I was up in Fishkill, New York, and I'm at a place where I'm going to be training the younger kids and training this men's league team. And I said, hey, this place is close to a buddy of mine. He lives not too far from me. Do you mind if I have him come in? He can, use the cage for a little bit. They're like, sure. So the guy shows up, and here he is, 72 years old with his Mets bag and his bats and stuff. And they're like, are you serious? I let him get stretched out. He's doing his jogging. I put the tee down. I put the ball, first swing, off the back of the cage. They're like, really? Wow. I'm telling you, it's very impressive. And here he is. He starts just hitting ropes.
Very cool.
So now he's the legend. It's like Norman Cheers when he walks in. And they will literally grab their kids. And it's funny, hit tracks. Hit tracks is the big thing that they have. Yeah. Shows all the analytics. So they have the 12U team is all in it, the 13 and 72U. and this guy just, all he does is he texts me on Thursdays and he's like, tomorrow's Friday. I can't wait.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's great. He works his butt off, and the fantasy campers are amazing, man. They're amazing. It's an amazing group. They're actually doing probably at least 4 tournaments this year just to get ready for camp. Because with COVID last year, they feel cheated.
Sure,
so these guys want to get together. The guys want to play. And they're having a tournament in the first week of October. They've already had 60 guys sign up for it.
Wow.
So they're gonna try and have 70 guys. They're trying to have equal teams.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and these guys love it. And
That's fantastic.
They still get to pitch against each other. I know Yankees camp. The coaches pitch behind an L screen.
Right.
These guys pitch against each other, hit against each other. There's 7 walks, there's 7 walks.
That's cool.
But we have a limit during the innings. Then the pro can come in, but then the team can't win the game.
Right.
But by that time, they're down 8 runs anyway.
Right.
We want to move this thing along.
Yeah, that's the Yankee camp, the coaches throw.
Yeah. So if you want, go back to a previous episode. Joe Laverty was on with us. We talked about bowling. But he talked about his experience at fantasy camp, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, before we got to wrap it up, but we didn't touch on the extra innings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So your opinion on the extra inning rules, which were started last season?
I'm with your dad on this. I do not like that.
Yeah.
Runner at second base.
It's just even statistically for the pitchers that have to be
exactly
in, right. You're already behind the 8 ball.
Behind the 8 ball.
It just doesn't make any sense to me because it happens so few times, right? And with having the alternate sites with players readily available, you can make a switch and bring up guys to fill the roster much quicker than you used to be able to do. I don't agree with it. I don't like how artificial it is because at least when you go to slap shots and penalty kicks, you've played a whole game and here it is, there's 5 opportunities to do this and the game ends that way. I don't like that in baseball. Baseball has always had a no clock thing.
Right.
There's not a finality to it. There's not let's do this to force the action. Mm-hmm. It's been the beauty of the game. Even though it's slow, even though it's slow paced, you got to earn that. I can't imagine being that guy that it's not going to be the closer that's in at that point.
No,
right? So you're
going to
have the middle reliever guy, the Nelson Figueroa. All right, the only time I get in a game is when we go extra innings and there's a guy on second base. Thanks. It sounds awesome.
I wonder, does it really make the game go faster?
No.
Yeah, and that's what all these different things have. They try to make the game go faster. It's too slow, and it doesn't.
I think they've been shaving the analytics on it are that they've shaved like 2 minutes off of game times on average. 2 minutes, really? I can deal with another 2 minutes if the game's played the right way.
Right.
I don't like the artificial. I don't like the force. I don't like. We're already talking about where shifts are controlling the game, and you want to take the shift out of it.
Right.
Be better.
Right. Hit the ball where they're
the
not.
other way.
Bump the ball. Do something.
There's a million things that you can do. Stop trying to fix the things.
You had to earn it the whole game. Now we're just gonna give it.
We had Wally Backman on.
It's almost like snowplow parents.
Oh God. We had Wally Backman on the other day. We were talking about the game, and he was like, "I will never get over not being able to take out somebody at second base or run over a catcher.
Yep.
Those are huge elements in the game.
Absolutely.
They're momentum changing plays. They're the type of. That's the way the game is supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Hard, not dirty, but hard.
Right.
Because I got him to admit that Utley wasn't dirty when he slid through Tejada's leg and was faced the wrong way, and it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And Wally was very adamant about it. He goes, "I would have done the same exact thing.
Sure, absolutely.
I was taught that runner was going to score from third.
Right. And
I'm giving myself up.
Right.
So if there's a collision, this guy steps on me. He goes, my shin. He goes, Figgy, you know what my shins look like from the knees down? I don't want to think about it. I get it. We've all had those scars from being, that's just the way the game was played.
Right.
What are you going to do?
That's right.
Ice hockey without hitting anything?
Yeah, no, of course. That's
So we need to make bowling a contact sport.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that.
But we have to have the U division. We have to have division. So
I'm in the
you senior, no contact.
I'm in the close to 60.
Okay, so no contact. No contact.
Platoon flag.
Yeah.
So they get the 3-second hike rule. You gotta let go of the ball by time.
No problem.
We'll go to instant replay. Slow the game
I
down.
can deal with that stuff. It's a little slower. I can deal with it.
Okay, it's only day two. Day two. A long season ahead of us, and the Mets aren't playing at all this weekend.
Right.
I guarantee you they don't lose a game this weekend.
All right.
My money's on the
So I was
Mets.
going to say, any predictions for the season?
They're still undefeated.
My prediction for the season is the Mets are going to finish somewhere in the 92, 93, 94 win area. I think they're that good. I think they're that deep. I think, especially when they get back, Syndergaard, Lugo, Correa, Carrasco. When you get those three pieces back, those are huge three. I know we did a season preview show and we're talking about the rotation, and I go, "Hey, you forgot Carrasco." I forgot Carrasco, who's going to probably be the number 3.
Yeah.
I said those are huge elements to get back.
Yeah.
And that's not talking about having to make a move to get another starter or get another, because Stroman is on this is a 1-year deal. Syndergaard is at the end of his deal as well. So what are you thinking? Well, go make a trade or go get somebody who you can pay and keep for the next 5 years to pair up with DeGrom.
That's right.
So I look for the Mets to be able to do something in a major way when it comes to the front office side ownership. It's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
I don't know. For Sandy, he's never been able to shop.
Right. He's got the credit card.
He's
with
never
no
been able to
limit.
shop at the high-end stores.
Right.
He's been at TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
Even when he was with the A's, it was even worse.
This is what I'm saying. That was goodwill. That was goodwill. At least he was with TJ Maxx and Marshalls with the low
Exactly
right. Now he gets to go, and they're going to say, "Hey, it's the black card."
Right.
What you got there? That first purchase is a little, but they already did that.
Right.
341 out the door. Here you go, the door.
Well, the last times we've had 90 or plus, right? 15.
Yeah.
And think about what happened in 15. And then maybe they won a division. Was it 8? Was it 3 in the last 2000?
Yep.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be one in between, maybe.
No.
They got close.
Maybe they
What was
didn't
2007? 2007 was close.
2007.
2007 was close because it wasn't. Yeah, it was a collapse.
That was a bad ending.
2007 and 8 was. We went down to that last day.
Oh,
that last day with the.
We were
same
just talking about that the other night.
Hey, it's a new season.
Positivity.
Great team.
New hope.
Day 2 of the season, Nelson has predicted 90 plus. Naz, you agree?
Yeah.
You want to pick a number? Did you stick with a number?
Yeah, I said 92, 93 wins, and I think what it's going to be is that the best division in baseball is the National League.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
tough
that
in
is
this
true.
division.
So
They're gonna
it's not going to be where somebody's going to really run away
run
with
away with it, right?
It's not going to be like, those, look, the second place
I'd
team
rather
is
that.
20 games back.
Right.
It's going to be
I'd rather
close. So I even
What
say,
those games at the end of the season?
I said the Mets could be the wild card, but if they get in, they're still just as good as they want.
Absolutely.
That doesn't matter. That
Just-
doesn't
just
matter.
get in.
They get in,
Yep.
and now they're going to continue to play their way through. They match up very well against anybody. in the
Yep.
series.
Yes.
94.
Joe, for the Mets first.
I'll say 90 for the Mets. I'll say 90.
Yankee fan, of course.
No.
You didn't want to say 89?
No.
So
I'll say 90.
his prediction for the Yankees is 161 and 1.
Whoa. No, it might surprise you.
All right.
All right, we'll get
Yankee prediction, Joe.
92.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah,
all right.
Hey, sorry.
You know what's crazy is, right? When you talk about that American League East, Toronto got way better.
Yeah.
The only punching bag is Baltimore.
That's why I said.
And Boston,
92.
it was like Boston last year kind of went,
Yeah.
we'll just go through the motions.
Wait, we're not gonna sit it out.
They got their manager
we're gonna
back.
sit
They got
it
their
out.
manager back.
They're out for.
You know what I mean? Like it was not even a rebuilding year. It was like a refocusing year. Like,
Yeah, they just
don't worry about what happened
They
this
mailed it
year.
in. Yeah.
I think they're in a major way just to play spoiler.
To be an obstacle.
They want to be spoiler in every series they can for an American League East team. So I look for them to be at that role.
They're going to be tough.
And Toronto's going to prove to be.
Toronto's got a nice club.
They got a nice club.
They really do.
It comes down to starting pitchers for Toronto.
Yeah, it
and
does.
when you have starting pitchers who are unknowns,
Yeah, that's tough.
it makes it tough until you get that first go around and
Right.
realize what makes
Everybody,
it.
right.
They got a nice lineup, though.
They do. Oh my God, they
Yep.
do. And it's all former major league kids.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Your prediction for the
Yeah,
Yankees?
we were
My
talking
prediction for
about
the
that.
Yankees is they're the Yankees. They're gonna probably have 94 to 96 wins, easy. And what you're gonna see from them is the same thing you have been seeing. Is they're so consistent with their lineup,
Right.
the depth that they have, and barring major injury, because they've survived 6 injuries last year.
Yeah, big
And
ones.
The man who carried him on his bat.
Yeah.
You got a guy like Andujar who is Mr. Irrelevant.
Right. He's actually on the IL right now.
Right,
too.
but he's Mr. Irrelevant for a team where
IL.
he was irrelevant for a guy who was, you thought, man, this is going to be a third baseman of the future.
47 doubles his rookie season.
Urshela's in there. Urshela's in there, and you look at all these different pieces that they can mix and match.
Yeah.
They're so deep in that lineup. They'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I think so too.
They're so deep in that lineup. They'll be
They
fine.
are deep.
And they played Baltimore 19 times.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't
Well,
hurt.
that's
Well,
okay.
add the
18 and
19 on to
Yeah.
it. I think 95. I think they're deep,
There they are.
and if the pitching holds up and
That's
fleshes
what
out,
worries
We got Tampa Bay.
right.
That's what worries me. Is
Flushes out.
the
Well,
pitching. That's why I said 92.
Well, and so if the Mets had the beat up, because it used to be the Expos and the Nationals in the beginning, and now it's not so much. So now that, I mean, to your point, it's a strong division. But if we had the punching bag, I would say that this might be
there's
this would be the
no,
first time in a little while the Mets
there's
could
no
have
slouches.
more wins than the Yankees. But I don't see that because of the
How many
division
times you play that?
and how many times you play, and that the schedule has changed over the last 10 years, where the number of games, you have the interleague piece. You have more of those games.
Mhm.
That's kind of mixed. You have the more games in the division.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to see how it will shape out this year. I didn't even look at the schedule, but
I don't even know who they're playing this year. Which division are they playing this year?
Well, the Yankees are definitely part of that, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah, they have the Yankees
cross over. It could be the AL West.
I think it was supposed to be the AL West, but because of regional play last year, it wasn't the AL
Right.
West. I think it's supposed to be the AL
I
West.
think it's the
Where
West. Yeah.
you got Houston, you got
Oakland.
Oakland, you got
Who's
Houston and Oakland, you got
Oakland's like
LA,
a-
who you never know.
You never know what you're going to get with those teams. They could be a thorn in the side.
Yep. Yeah, so I think it'll be fun. What do I want to see? I want a 20th anniversary of 9/11. I want to see Yankees Mets kind of be able to.
It was heartbreaking.
I want to see them go back toe to toe again.
I can't watch those games. It's so
I got to tell
hard
you,
to watch.
I thought when Piazza hit
Yeah.
that ball, I thought it was gone. And when Bernie Williams went back to the track and I saw him stop, I'm like, oh my God. I did not-
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't
wait.
believe it. I'm like,
There's
oh.
hope.
Yeah. And Bernie camped under it. I was like, wow, this Piazza. Every time that guy came up, there was always a threat that he was going to break your heart if you were rooting against him.
Right. Well, and then for us on the other side.
Yeah.
Dan Block's prediction, 92, 93 for the Mets.
And the Yankees will win the AL East if they don't strike out more.
Well, yes.
We'll see.
If not, it'll be the wild card for them.
It'll certainly be a fun summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer.
Same thing. You get the team like the Yankees and what are you really Cole in a one game? Really?
Yeah.
You worried about that?
Yeah, no, he pitched great yesterday. He did. One bad pitch. One bad
And
pitch.
he knew it as soon as he let it go.
Teoscar Hernandez hit almost out of the box.
The best was like when Kay goes, fly ball deep. No, it's not deep. He tried to make it seem like it was just a fly ball. No. You saw Cole's reaction. You saw Teoscar Hernandez's reaction. Everyone knew it. He goes, a fly ball deep to left. No, it's not deep.
It was a meal in a movie.
It's
served on
deep,
that one.
right?
Yeah.
It's deep as a parking lot.
Yeah, it was gone. A bomb. Oh, hey, that's baseball.
Unlike the way Susie used to play.
So
It's going, it's going, it's gone. It's caught.
Yeah. Yep.
So, any final thoughts? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Next weekend is the Masters, and I'm picking Matt Kuchar for all you golf fans out there.
Oh,
Matt
Matt
To put on the
Kuchar.
green jacket. That's just my.
Do you
that's
do
a
the
hunch.
pool?
I do
Does
the
the
pool.
pool? He doesn't have Matt Kuchar, I don't
But
think.
I will tell you this.
So you're betting on the guy that's to win. You don't have him?
That he
I do
doesn't
have
have.
I do
Oh,
have
okay.
Matt Kuchar. That's why I said.
Oh,
it.
is that who you have to win?
But in the Players Championship, which is the first round of the pool, I had the winner.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
And that was great.
So
That
how
was
many players in
great.
this pool do you pick?
That was a great.
You pick two golfers and an alternate.
Okay.
So in case
And
your
then
golfer
it's
doesn't
based,
play.
and then this one, it's based on
On the
earnings.
money earnings, right? Not necessarily, but if you
Position.
win,
But you're not- you only
obviously,
get-
you
only
get-
the first. It's not cumulative.
No, it's your two. It's your two.
It's your two guys. It's two golfers cumulative for the season.
And I had Justin Thomas in the Players.
That was
And he won.
great. That was a great tournament.
My other guy, I think, was caddying for somebody. But that's okay.
You either win it or you caddy.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, I'm picking Matt Kuchar to win the Masters, and I'm still sticking to my 92 wins for the Yankees. That's me. That's me.
Final thoughts?
You don't think it, you don't.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get stuck on
Yeah.
golf now.
That's okay.
Well, so who's gonna challenge him?
You know what? You know who's playing very, very well now
What are you talking
is
about?
Justin Thomas. Is gonna be
Yeah,
up.
that's what I'm thinking.
Jordan Spieth is back on the map again.
Spieth is playing really good.
Yeah.
It's so good to see.
Yep,
It's
he's
really
actually
good.
in second now in the Valero. He's in second, behind Canelo Villegas, who's in first. So, yeah,
You think he's gonna stay in first?
he might. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's always what I like about watching golf is like how it evolves through the week,
Oh yeah,
and watching how
Oh, yeah.
just watching the play up and down, like how you start to see. A lot of times you see an amateur or some of the lower ranked players
no name.
come out like
Yeah.
really, really
Oh, yeah.
strong and have some great rounds. And you'll see way back in the field,
Yeah,
and you just start to watch them creep up.
and Dustin
Round
Johnson's
by
making
round,
way.
right.
Yep.
Round by round, and then you start to see like,
Yeah.
I think that's what I like. I really
that's
like
great.
watching
That's-
that golf.
Yeah, the
Momentum.
Thursday hero is a
Yeah.
Sunday down the bottom.
Yeah,
So you
Sunday
know you
zero.
can be the Thursday hero and a Sunday zero.
Yeah.
Right.
So golf masters next week, bowling masters happening now.
Yeah, and let's give our boy Michael Martell a shout out. Michael is now in the round of 64. Out
Yes,
of the Masters.
Michael.
And
Yes.
I sent him my little message today.
I'm sure you
hashtag-
did, Coach.
Hashtag Ghosts of Maple Lane. Hashtag Ghosts of Maple are with you, Michael.
He got Michael got a cool call out, shout out, I should say, from John Mark Banzioni, editor of Bowler's Journal, who was also on with us, and Michael too.
Yeah.
John Mark went to school with Michael's dad, and
Yeah.
so exciting. He just
Yeah.
had this little memory he posted
Yeah.
without sharing Michael's name. And the
That's
amazing
nice.
part, everybody knows that John Mark was from Brooklyn, and
Right.
everybody
Oh,
knew
yeah.
who he was talking about.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to see that connection. And Michael, it was when Michael had a great week in the lanes, and
Mhm.
so good luck to Michael.
Good
But
luck.
Good luck, Michael.
however, the GOAT, Norm
Yeah.
Duke, took
Yes,
the lead
he is.
at the
Norman
Masters.
Norman.
So he just retires,
Yeah,
and he's not dead.
yeah.
He a 224 average, just huge final block.
Because he
So
can play anywhere on the lane.
And I was just gonna say
He'll
that
play the
he
ditch,
does
play inside,
has
he can
that
play anywhere.
amazing
Yep.
ability.
He's a technician. I love to watch him move.
so it'll be fun. It's
He
gonna be
doesn't
fun to see how
overthink
this
it.
pans
And
out.
you know what? People are looking at the big
Yeah.
hook and not
Yeah.
a simple game.
No,
Throws it great.
nice, easy. Revs?
He just reads the
What
lanes.
Revs? I don't even
He
need
just,
Revs.
he just reads the lanes.
And they're back at the bowling stadium in Reno.
Yes.
Oh.
Which is a makeover.
Great
So
place.
it looks beautiful.
Did they make it over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made it over.
Yeah.
They took
Biggest
out
little city
the
in America.
seating.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? It's crazy. As people hate Reno, I actually love
It's a
Reno.
quaint little
It's a
town.
cool little
Yeah,
place.
yeah, it's a quaint little
But
town.
the bowling stadium looks really cool.
As
They
long
did a
as you
really
don't,
nice job.
as long as you don't have expectations that it's going to be like Vegas, it's not Vegas.
Right.
It's Reno.
Yeah,
It's Vegas for a block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a long block,
Short,
like I said.
short little
It's a
block.
very little block.
So,
It's good to see
I
those.
played there for AAA for the Diamondbacks, and on the way to the ballpark.
Ace- at the- That's the Aces?
Yes.
Yeah, we always.
On the way to the ballpark, you had to go through the parking lot, which had the Gentlemen's Club
Right.
And the undesirables.
and the undesirables.
Speaking of that parking garage,
I was
when-
in that gentleman's club. It's not
There was not one undesirable.
and then from the bowling stadium, when you're going to the squad room, you see it. It's right
Yes.
there off the train.
Yeah.
But Harris, so it's behind Harris,
Harris,
which is,
right.
I believe it's
Which is
finally
where everybody
closed.
stays.
Right.
Which is now closed, but the company that owns the Tri Properties is now the Caesars Entertainment Group. So, but when you walk that parking garage,
Mhm.
when we had
Yeah.
the women's open and we built 2 lanes
Yes.
on the
Right.
street, on the street.
The wind.
Oh my God, it was we called it the Dust Bowl. But the cool part is that we had, so Bob Cashel was the mayor at the time, and he's in the audience with us. And it's really cool. It looks beautiful, but there's the wind,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
sand everywhere.
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, there were people lined up in the parking garage watching. And something happened where the fire department said, no, they got to go. Bob Cashel gets out of his seat. And he's like, no, let them stay. And this little, true mafia guy. Let them stay. Look what they're, and it looks really cool on TV.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I mean, the girls just, they persevered.
I remember.
Yeah, that was,
tough.
We took Kelly, when Kelly was on with us, we took her through that.
That was
and
tough.
she tells me, like, she kind of runs through it. But I sat there and I could never forget watching, and you could see the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just
Yeah.
a cool
Yeah.
experience. But the parking garage brings back some
Yep.
memories.
Yeah.
Where there's the undesirables with signs, then there's
Yeah.
our people out hanging outside their cars. It's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
it's a fun time.
good luck to Michael. Good luck to Norm. I mean,
Good luck to
him.
It's incredible.
Maybe he'll come back and get behind the bar again, like he did that time.
That was-
Brian.
That night in the lounge
That was.
with that group.
Yeah, that was quite a
That
night.
Yeah.
Norm Duke, Brian Voss.
Yeah.
Who else was here?
Carolyn, Kathy,
Carol,
Parker,
Kathy, and there was another.
Kim Terrell,
Kim Terrell. Yep.
Bob Learn, Mike
Right.
Machuga.
Machuca.
Machuca, because
We have the
they
picture of
did
him with the
flop.
cake.
The flop.
Yeah.
So in the bar, there's some nostalgia. There's a picture. There was a beer picture that we had them all sign that night. So it's in the
Right.
it's in the little display case that we put
that
up
was,
over the
That was a
break.
fun night. That was
So-
a good night.
Yeah, it was fun times. So, but before you know it, we've invited them all back to come in different times.
Yeah.
They'll be back here. We'll do some great things.
And Leto has to come. And Leto.
I'm Leto. Come on, I'm who?
And Leto
Leto.
Monticelli.
And where is he from?
Barquisimeto, Venezuela.
Again, if you close your eyes,
Right.
it's like Amleto was
It's like
here.
he's right.
And his favorite name in the world is Nazareth. He loves his friend Nazareth. So we want you here, Leto. Come on, I'll take you for pizza.
Yeah, him and Bob, when they came, they were great.
And
Yeah,
I think that the show is Sunday on Fox.
It is. Yep.
So tune into the Masters on Fox. This morning we had some kids bowling. Nice little
Yeah.
crowd this morning competing for
A
junior gold
sweeper.
spots.
Oh,
I
nice.
text Melissa to ask who won. Do you know who won? She didn't answer me yet because she's working, which we need to get to because it's a busy day out there. We can sit here all day.
Yeah,
la, 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 la.
Get my
Scissors.
daughter to work.
I think there were maybe 4 winners. Paul Cherry was one of them.
Oh, good
Yeah, there were
call.
there were 4 qualifiers.
Okay.
2 U18, 1 U15.
Paul Cherry, Chiara Lombardi,
Oh, very good. Very good.
one from off Staten Island,
Okay.
and I don't remember the other one.
Great. So congratulations to
Yeah.
I don't know. Off Staten Island,
Yeah,
Paul Cherry,
not from
Tiara.
Staten
Well,
Island.
at least for the 2 that I listen. I walked in at the end. I didn't heard the announcement.
No, we're excited. This is tournament season. They're qualifying. They're going to go to Indy.
Yeah,
they're
they're really
going to have an
excited.
event this year.
Very good.
Things are looking better in Indiana.
Excellent.
So they're able to travel. You can now travel. I mean, vaccination, we talked all that. So it's going to be good. See, the summer of fun for these
Summer
kids
of
because they
fun.
lost out on last season.
They
I just-
Minus the USA Bowling
Yes.
Tournament.
Right.
Couldn't get the regional tournaments off the ground
Yeah, well,
to
listen,
catch back up. So,
Just
that's
a
canceled.
point about the sweeper this morning. I caught 2 of the kids that before they left this morning, I was talking to them about how they did, and they were a little disappointed. It's easy to say.
They were practicing.
And they're, you saw them,
Their
right?
performance.
They came and they got on the lane to practice after. So I just asked them, how'd you do? And they were like, yeah, not so good. I said, well, why do you think you didn't do well? And they said, well, we didn't know the pattern. So I was like, so it gave me an opportunity to have a little teaching moment and talk to them about how that's a double-edged sword. If you know what the pattern is, if you're gonna go, and I'm not saying a plan is not good because I'm all about plans, but you don't want to go in with a preconceived notion of what is going to happen on that lane. You want to go in and I'm going to tell you the key things you need to know. You need to know the distance and the volume.
Right. That's right.
Other than that, what is on that piece of paper does not necessarily mean it's going to play that way on the lane.
Right, most don't know how to read
Analytics.
Exactly.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that, where you're like, okay, what kind is it, and the distance is, and the volume is. What does that mean?
Right.
Throw the ball and the
You'll
field.
find out.
Exactly.
Field.
And that's what I
And
saw.
that's our job as coaches to
Yeah,
teach that.
it's always
Because
the field.
I don't want you to walk in with your 3 bowling balls. 'cause
Correct.
You might have more.
Oh,
And go,
they got six.
well, I saw the lane pattern, I'm only gonna use these.
Right.
Well, that's great today, but you don't know, first of all, you don't know who's on the lane with you.
Right.
How the lanes are gonna break down.
Right.
And every
The
lane is gonna
whole
be different no matter what you
conversation.
do.
Oh, yeah.
So get out there and bowl your butt off
And I
and
said-
adjust accordingly.
And and I also told them, I said, listen, when you do that, I think it keeps you from actually learning to read your ball reaction.
Definitely.
You have to
Definitely.
learn how to do that.
Mhm.
That's the difference between the people that are just, okay when they bowl on this,
Right.
and the people that really excel. Well, I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I kind of saw it.
You're still learning.
But it makes it, you have to learn to read your ball reaction.
Yep.
You know what? And if you can't maybe get necessarily lined up with your own, use somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody else has got a really good
Yeah.
line to the pocket,
Yep.
well, where is their break
I'm
point? Where are
jumping
they
on that.
hitting?
Yep.
You know what? You might not be at the same angle as them,
Right.
and maybe you need to be a little deeper or a
Right.
little bit further out.
That's right.
But use that break
I'm
point
jumping on that.
and
Yep.
yeah, use it.
Definitely.
I just wanted to mention that it's I know the kids get hung up on, well, I
They
have to
beat
know what the
themselves up
pattern is.
too,
And
but-
fight,
yeah.
and fight.
Right.
They'll use the wrong ball or
Yeah.
the wrong line,
Yeah.
but no, this pattern says I should do
Right.
this and do this. Well, maybe not
Right.
today.
You gotta
And
adapt.
maybe you're bowling with somebody that's using something dull
Right.
and just taking everything off the lane every time
Correct.
they throw it.
They're pushing the oil towards
Push it
you.
right.
Get Chris Barnes again.
Yep.
What are you gonna do with that?
Right.
So anyway, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I
No,
wanted
you're
to.
good. I mean, it's perfect. It's so
My
true.
opinion.
And we remind them all the time about that. And it's
Definitely.
just,
Yeah.
hey,
I understand the curiosity and wanting
Of course.
to know that. And like I said, you could have the graph and look at it, but look at the key points. Look at the distance and the volume. Everything else.
doesn't matter.
That would be like me going to play golf and asking, what's the slope? Is it a +3?
What is that?
I gotta get there first.
Just get the ball.
I gotta get there first. First thing I say is, where's the driving range? How to hit the ball
Can I actually drive the ball today?
Right. I love going with somebody that's that good. That's like, well, it's a plus this, a plus. I don't know what the hell that means. And I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I don't care. If I can 2-putt,
Right.
then I got a chance of
Right,
scoring.
do
I don't want
something.
a free one.
No, I just want a 3-putt. So just tell me exactly what I need to know. Is it going to be way too fast because that means nothing to me? Now I'm going to say, what's your handicap? I'm playing golf.
I'm playing.
That's my handicap.
That's your handicap.
Yeah, I go.
Watch my swing.
I go when I only play once a month, once every 2 months, and I come out here to enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the weather, the
Right.
view,
Right.
getting to smack a white ball all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it, but don't sit there and try and and I love when you know what you need to do? You need to do no, I don't.
Right.
You need to do that because and I get mad at them because if I play with someone who's good, they're a
Yeah.
scratch golfer, I go, must suck to be you. You need to enjoy it.
Right.
Right? One shot makes it a bad day for you.
Right.
I go, one shot makes it a great day. Just one.
That's why you just won.
The difference.
I like that.
Why is 18 the easiest hole?
Right.
Because they want you to come back.
Come back.
Because you birdie 18, and you're like, I could have done that all day.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll be back tomorrow.
They never make 18 the
We
hardest.
gotta figure out a way to do that so by the third game, the 10th grade comes, you feel better.
Oh, listen, how many times have we said that?
Jennifer's telling us when a bowl didn't work, her dad used to toss it on the roof. Well, first of all, I think that's hysterical, but please do not throw any bowls
Yeah,
in the field.
right.
When you hear it, Rabs,
And
don't
even
condone it.
yeah, please don't condone that. But that is so funny. But she makes the same point. I mean, you didn't know; you just got on the lanes you went.
Yeah.
There are a few bowling centers that have lakes nearby, but there's one we've heard these stories over and over that they threw the bowls in the lake. Here, people throw them in the garbage can, and
Put them out on Highland Boulevard,
Highland
on the
Boulevard.
median.
They say it all the time. We're going to set it down Route 31 right now.
Yeah.
This ball doesn't work anymore. Like, that's funny. It was the same ball you just used 2 games
Yeah,
ago
but we should.
for 260, but now all of a sudden, no.
It doesn't work.
Well, Naz, we can leave them with this. We just got a citizen alert.
Oh, boy.
Report of woman weaponizing frying pan at executive
Oh, we
Lane.
haven't had
The
that
frying
one.
pans, that's a new one.
That's new.
That's
Oh.
new one.
We
We've had
like to share
machetes.
in our
Wow.
little group. We share citizen
Really?
alerts.
Oh, yeah. Well, you
That-
sent me one a couple of weeks ago.
I love that.
There was a
Hammer.
man with a knife on my corner. So I said,
I was concerned for
I
him.
appreciate
I'm
that.
concerned for you.
We had one with the vase,
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple
throwing
of.
knives,
Yeah.
shovels,
We like the different weapons.
ninja stars.
Yeah.
Can you imagine people in other cities? They don't have
They don't
this.
have that.
What do you mean? Florida man.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I don't mean in any other city.
Google it right now, Florida man, and put your birth date. See what it says. It
Oh,
comes up. That tells you who you. Yeah. You never heard about that?
No.
So the whole Florida man thing. You put your birth date and you put a Florida man, and it tells you the news report that day of a Florida man did so and so and so.
Oh, because it's okay. So I'm
That's
gonna.
I've heard about it. I've never done it, but I have heard about it.
Florida man attacked a crazy squirrel, got nuts. Florida man, 2019-24, Florida man with don't drink and drive bumper sticker arrested for.
Drinking and driving.
I got an alert on my.
That is funny.
I just got an alert. Dad, could you pick me up a sesame bagel before you
No,
come?
not a chicken roll.
My daughter. No, well, I'll get it for you. I'll be home soon, and then I got to drive you back to come to work, so it's fine.
Well, Joe,
Yeah.
happy retirement.
Thank you.
Yes.
It feels great. 5 days in, and I
Nice.
really haven't had that much time to myself. But as the weather changes, I'm going to get out there and play some golf on the weekday. No more Sunday
Like
morning warrior for me.
it's a different game during the week.
It is. It's a cheaper
It's a
game.
different game. It's
game
cheaper,
during the week, yeah.
and there's a lot. And I'm by no means a great golfer.
Right. Well, you're in good company.
It's a lot easier to play.
Yeah, it is.
On a
People are not
weekday.
breathing down your neck. People
Yeah.
are
You have
not.
nowhere to
There's
go.
a- hitting up on
You got
people.
nothing to do and all day to do
You're
it.
not in a rush.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but
Might even-
now on Sunday I can sleep in.
Eat something, drink something at the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What?
really
People
just
do that?
How? So, Joe, in future episodes of Live Raps, we're going to have a segment, Retirement with Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
So, you're going to
that.
have to be prepared
Yes.
with
Perfect.
whatever the bit is
Yeah.
that you've enjoyed at retirement.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot of going to Martin's Paints. And
The honeydew list is
Right,
not long.
yeah.
Well,
That
they're opening a Sherman
Yes, they
Williams
are.
right at the
Yeah,
block.
they are. Yep.
Very convenient.
Yep. It's very convenient because I'll be there.
Well, that was fun.
Yep.
We have to get back to work.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for hanging out with us today. You know what? Baseball season, we're excited.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, who knows? You got put some predictions here, so we're going to come back to April 2nd after the season's over and see how good we were.
That could be
Because then we're gonna have
or
to
it could
recap
be
the
great.
season because we're gonna, and then we're gonna have the playoffs, which is gonna be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Because both the
Playoffs.
Mets and the Yankees will be in the playoffs,
Yes.
and who knows what's gonna
Fingers
happen?
crossed.
Who knows what's gonna happen there? In Subway Series times, which are games that I hate to go to, but I like to watch.
I hate those
Because
Subway
we
Series.
hate them because we hate the Yankee fans.
Right,
That's just
yeah.
relentless.
Ooh.
But you know what? I'm looking forward to it. 162 games. Baseball's finally back. We're gonna get to go to a game.
Mhm.
It's been too damn long.
It's been way too
I can't wait
long.
to have a hot dog and some peanuts and a beer.
Yeah.
And then walk around City Fields.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Love
right.
City Field.
They have a steak
Grass.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Steak sandwiches. That's
Oh,
what I
Fritos, huh?
and we get spoiled because they deliver to our seats.
Right, yeah.
It's just
What?
not.
Don't be bougie.
Oh.
You know, what?
You picked
No,
them.
I think that's how
You're
it has
right.
to, that's how it has to happen now. I think we could only order.
I think they have to bring it to
Yeah.
the
Oh,
So then everybody's bougie.
Everybody's
Everybody's
bougie.
All right.
And
That's
paying for it. I
Yes.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Love,
Thank
share.
you.
We will see you soon.
Happy
East
Easter.
Nelson, thank you
Thanks,
for
Nelson.
being with us
Thanks,
today. Joe Cal, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
And now that you're retired, it's going to have to be Live with Rabs from Fly from Raps with Joe, Frank, and Nazareth.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
So,
So,
and happy Easter.
happy Easter.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Easter,
Happy
guys.
Good Friday. Happy Easter.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Bye, one.